Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Aiden, from Cartoon Apocalypse, and welcome back to another promo analysis. I honestly wasn't expecting to get another promo for BLanc, but here we are. I do have two announcements before we get into this analysis. First, I'm sick, so that's why I sound weird, so yeah. Second, I have a video. If you like the Odd Ones Out or Jaden animations, then go check out my own version of that. It's a storytime animation. Go check that out. Link is down in the description below. It's about buses, so I'd really appreciate it if you went to go check that out. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this promo because we learned some juicy stuff about it. And as always, the promo will be down in the description below if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, let's start from the very beginning. So we start off here with Marinette and her friends. I guess Marinette's not in this shot right here, but they are practicing. So we can see like Julika's practicing her guitar, and we can see Alex is practicing her rollerblades, and Alia seems to be helping Alex. And then we see Marinette running up the stairs with this letter that we know she gives to Adrian as Ladybug. Now Adrian clearly sees Marinette running by with this letter, so this proves that Adrian figures out who Ladybug is in this episode. Because before, if we were using Miraculous logic, we would see that Ladybug drops off the letter that has Marinette written on it, and then Adrian would be like, oh, it's obviously just Ladybug delivering a message for Marinette. They have nothing to do with each other. But this way, he should know that this is from Ladybug, hopefully. I would assume so, unless if like he realizes, unless if he thinks that Marinette just chickened out and wanted Ladybug to do it. I don't know. He should just figure out who Ladybug is in this episode. If he doesn't, that something is completely wrong with his brain. And Adrian is holding this medal and he's looking at it, and so this makes me believe that he's pretty proud with whatever he won. So I don't know what this is. Maybe it was like a festival or something where you show off your talent. Maybe it's like a talent show, and maybe Adrian won or something. I don't know. So next we see a couple of shots with Marinette, and she's looking at Adrian's house, seeing like, hey, how do I deliver this letter? Because last time, back in like season 1, she realized, or she should have realized, that delivering a letter through the door did not get it to Adrian with her name on it. So there were some issues there. So then she realizes the best way would be to go as Ladybug through the window. And so we could see Marinette looking around, making sure no one could see her. And then Tiki's probably like, that's probably not a very good idea. But, well, you know, what does Marinette know? So we could see Ladybug swoops in through the window that's always conveniently open. And we can see that she writes her name on the card as Ladybug. So if Adrian saw her write this, then obviously he should know that that was from Marinette. But they're going to probably do something where he's like, oh, no, there's no way it could be Marinette. Now, I don't know if Marinette just forgot to sign it again like she does with everything, or if she just decided last minute to sign it. I'm not sure, but that's something we'll learn in this episode. So then we see Ladybug fly off, and then Adrian looks surprised. Maybe he finds out who Ladybug is. This was in the previous promo, by the way. So next we see this big blue bubble expanding and kind of devouring Paris, and then we can see this bubble beam, we can assume, coming from Paris and then like hitting the moon. So possibly moon powers. We'll talk more about this laser beam in a little bit because it does have a big significance, but that's what we see for now. And then we see a clip of Marinette crying with Adrian running after her. And the way that this scene is portrayed in this promo makes it seem like Marinette figures out who Adrian is as far as he's Cat Noir, because we can see first Marinette looks around and then we see Adrian's transformation. But I don't know if that's how the events are going to be, because the promos like to trick us. So Marinette could be looking around after the Cat Noir kind of turns or transforms into Cat Noir, and that's kind of how it was portrayed in the first promo. So honestly, I don't know if Marinette figures out who Cat Noir is in this scene, but there's the possibility that she does. So next we see a clip of Hawkmoth coming through the roof of his lair, landing. If he really fell from that height, I guess since he's in his superpower form, it doesn't really affect him as much, but like any other human would probably be severely injured. But then Ladybug and Cat Noir jump in as well, and it definitely looks like Ladybug and Cat Noir have the upper hand here. Hawkmoth throws his stick, they deflect it, Hawkmoth starts backing up, and his face looks pretty worried. He's like, hey, hold on, we don't need to do this, because he's walking back to show off Emily. And if Hawkmoth knows who Cat Noir is, then he can use this to his advantage. Hawkmoth is very manipulative, and here I'll explain what I think happens like fully on in the episode at the end of my analysis, because I do want to just talk about what we see in the scenes versus talking about what I think first. So we'll get to that here in a minute, because I do think that I can piece together pretty well what's going to happen. So Hawkmoth opens up he doesn't fully open it, he just opens the viewing of Emily in the coffin. I guess it's not really a coffin, it's just like a chamber because she is still alive, she's just in a deep sleep. And then we see Hawkmoth with his bubbles, and this is kind of how we see him as intimidating. So like you'll see scenes in other shows where it's like a character so intimidating, everything's shaking and it's just super intense. That's like their equivalent to this. And then we can see Cat Noir, he's just like, he's like fighting his head. He's like, what's the word? I don't know. I'm not fully into it today because again, I'm sick, but he's just like trying to fight his inner emotions or something. But then we cut to the scene where we can see his silhouette in this ball of energy that's kind of like bursting or erupting. And we can see Hawkmoth and Ladybug, and they're both like surprised, like, oh, what's going on here? And then the bubble just expands. And then that's when we cut to those other scenes where we see the ball expanding to be really big and then eventually just shooting out to the moon. And there is also this clip of Marinette, or I guess Ladybug, looking sad, like she's like, oh no. And then we can assume that Cat Noir's talking in this one clip, because, well, maybe not, I don't know. But we don't have any audio, so we can't tell. But it is just an image, or I guess a very hard to see silhouette of Cat Noir. I do think at this point, though, he has transformed because it kind of looks white versus black. So I think that he has transformed into Capella at this point. And then that's it for the promo. So again, we got a lot of news, or I guess it's not really news, it's a new promo, which I guess you could call news. But a lot of new things to talk about, a lot of new confirmations. But here's what I think is going to happen. Here's my updated idea of how this episode's going to go. So Marinette wants to deliver this note to Adrien, whatever it may be containing, I don't know, probably like something like, oh, I know that you're in love with Kagami, so I'm gonna stop chasing after you, or something like that. And then quite honestly, I have no idea what happens like during this intermission period, like after Marinette, or I guess Ladybug, drops off the note. I have no idea what happens next, but my guess is we cut to Marinette crying in the umbrellas because maybe like Adrien turns her down or something. And then that's when we see Cat Noir running, or I guess Adrien turning into Cat Noir, running after the Akuma that's going to Akumatize Marinette. Now, in the previous promo, we saw that Cat Noir grabs the Akuma. Here's what I think is going to happen. We know from episodes that you can fight off the urge to become Akumatized, and I think that that's exactly what Cat Noir does. I think he fights off the urge to become Akumatized, but he does still technically have that Akuma in him, so Hawkmoth can still attempt to Akumatize him. And maybe because Cat Noir is Akumatized, Hawkmoth figures out that he's Adrien, or maybe since Adrien Akumatizes out in the open and his boss can see it, or whatever, not his boss, his bodyguard can see it, maybe Hawkmoth figures out that way. Either way though, he figures out that Cat Noir is Adrien, and I think that they figure out, Ladybug and Cat Noir figure out that Hawkmoth is Gabriel Agreste, hence why they're at his lair. And my first thought on that was that like Hawkmoth could tell that Cat Noir is Adrien just from when he's like communicating with him through his like Akumatize waves or something, I don't know. So then he's like, hey, come to my side, I have a good cause, please do this. And then Cat Noir's like, no, because now they both know who each other are. And then they just go fight. And that's where we see this clip in the promo. But I have a feeling that this was part of Hawkmoth's plan because he wanted to show Cat Noir the reason. He wanted to show Emily to Cat Noir, and that's going to get him unstable. And then they can find themselves to the Eiffel Tower. I have no idea how they get from point A to point B in these transitions. It's just kind of like out there, so I could be completely wrong. I don't know. But I think that Hawkmoth just says this final fact that finally ticks him off. And then since he does still have this Akuma in him, he's going to kind of like implode because he wants to stay as Cat Noir, but the urge of becoming Akumatized is maybe too much or something. So maybe him fighting off so hard is what causes this huge ball of energy to start forming, and then it just kind of explodes. So then that's why the whole city's like underwater. Maybe it has something to do with the moon, I don't know. And then just that's where we pick up in that other promo that we got earlier on in, I guess it was last week now, but that's when we see Ladybug and Capella fighting. So that's kind of my guess for this episode. Again, that's just a guess. It could be in different orders. Again, how they get from point A to point B could definitely change how this outcome is, and especially how it goes from like a super sunny day to it like pouring. I mean, I know that that's just like a trope in shows, like, because raining indicates bad stuff. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if a day goes by, like it goes from a nice sunny day to like a pouring day to then a nice sunny day or something. I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I don't know how they're going to fit all of this into 20 minutes. This episode, I hope, is not going to feel rushed, but I have a feeling it will be rushed. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. Overall, though, again, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this episode. This is an episode that I have been looking forward to forever. But yeah, just really excited for this episode. But yeah, I think that that's it for this video. If you did enjoy, you can leave a like and subscribe for more content similar to this. Again, I apologize that I'm sick. I hate being sick. It'll definitely be gone by the 15th, which is the soonest time that we know of Camp BLanc airing. So if we get any more news, I will let you guys know. So stay subscribed for that. But yeah, I'll talk to you in the next video. Goodbye.
You do know your true identities then?
We're not supposed to?
That's okay.